The morning tram on Line 7 had become something of a spectacle in New Terra Colony, and Marin knew exactly why. Every day, at 8:47 a.m., without fail, a dragon hatchling no larger than a house cat would board at the industrial quarter station, perch on seat 14B, and ride 17 stops to the university district. Marin had been observing lyrics for 3 weeks now, clipboard in hand, scientific curiosity burning brighter each day. The little dragon was exquisite scales that shimmered between copper and gold, wings folded neatly against a serpentine body, and eyes that held an intelligence that made Marin's skin prickle with unease. The draconid species had made first contact with humanity only 2 years prior, emerging from a fold in space that human scientists were still struggling to understand. They were ancient, powerful, and utterly indifferent to the political machinations of younger species. Most humans had never seen one in person. They certainly didn't expect to find one commuting. "Ticket, please," the automated scanner chirped at lyrics. The hatchling produced a transit card from somewhere within its scales, Marin had never figured out where, and tapped it against the reader. The scanner beeped its approval. 17 credits deducted. A daily ritual. Marin settled into her usual seat 3 rows back, maintaining her observation distance. She'd tried approaching lyrics directly in week 1. The dragon had simply stared at her with those luminous amber eyes until Marin felt her questions die in her throat, replaced by an overwhelming sense that she was interrupting something important. So she watched instead. The other passengers had grown accustomed to their unusual commuter. In the beginning, there had been panic, photos, news crews. The Interspecies Relations Committee had sent representatives. The Draconid Embassy had been contacted. Everyone wanted to know why a member of one of the galaxy's most powerful species was riding public transportation in a human colony city. The dragon had ignored them all. Now, 3 weeks later, the novelty had worn thin for most. Lyrics was simply part of the morning routine, like the coffee vendor at Junction Station or the holographic advertisements for vacation packages to Earth. But Marin couldn't let it go. As a xenoanthropologist, she dedicated her life to understanding alien cultures, and nothing about this made sense. Draconids could teleport across star systems, fold space with a thought, existed for millennia. Why would one, especially a hatchling, barely a century old by Draconid standards, spend 17 credits and 43 minutes riding a tram? The tram hummed through the city, passing through the morning light that filtered through New Terra's atmospheric dome. At stop 7, an elderly woman boarded. Struggling with her bags, Lyrics's tail twitched, and one of the bags gently floated from her hands to the overhead rack. The woman nodded her thanks, unsurprised. Even that had become routine. At stop 12, a child dropped her toy, and it rolled toward the door. Lyrics's wing extended just far enough to stop it, then retracted. The child retrieved it with a giggle and a whispered, "Thank you, dragon." Small interventions, casual kindness. Things Marin had documented meticulously, but couldn't explain. It was at stop 15 that everything changed. The tram lurched suddenly, emergency brakes screaming. Passengers stumbled, grabbing rails, and each other. Through the window, Marin saw the problem: a maintenance drone had malfunctioned, locked onto the tram's magnetic rail, pulling them toward the construction zone where the track ended in a 100-meter drop. Panic erupted. People shouted. The automated emergency system blared warnings, and the conductor's voice crackled over the speakers. Brace for impact. Deploying emergency countermeasures. Marin's scientific mind cataloged it all, even as terror gripped her chest. They had, perhaps, 30 seconds. Then lyrics moved. The hatchling rose from seat 14B, and suddenly the small dragon seemed to fill the entire tramcar with presence. Those amber eyes blazed with golden fire, and when lyrics spoke, the voice resonated not in the air but directly in every mind aboard. "Hold on." The tram stopped. Not slowed, stopped, as if the universe itself had decided motion was optional. Through the window, Marin could see they hung suspended 3 meters from the broken track, the malfunctioning drone frozen mid-spin beneath them. Lyrics's wings spread wide, and reality bent around the dragon like water around stone. The tram drifted backward, gentle as a feather, until it settled safely on stable track, 200 meters behind the brake. Only then did time resume its normal flow. The silence in the tram car was absolute. Lyrics folded those impossible wings and turned those ancient eyes on Marin specifically. The dragon had known she'd been watching. Had always known. "You wonder why I ride the tram," Lyric said, and though the dragon's mouth didn't move, Marin heard the words clearly. "Every human I've met wants to know." Marin found her voice somehow. "Why?" "Because 3 months ago, I calculated probable futures. A human child would die today at 9:34 a.m. when this tram crashed. I saw it across 10,000 timelines." The dragon's gaze swept across all the passengers, the elderly woman, the child with the toy, a young man in a business suit, a teenager with headphones. "I saw all of you die." Understanding crashed over Marin like a wave. "You've been, every day, for 3 weeks, establishing the pattern," Lyrics confirmed. "The universe is probabilistic. To change fate, one must first become part of the pattern. The tram expects me now. The timeline accepts me. Only then could I alter the outcome when the moment came." "But why?" a passenger whispered. "Why would you care about us?" Lyrics's scales shimmered, catching the light in ways that hurt to perceive directly. "Your species is young, impulsive, fragile, but you have something my kind lost long ago in our ascension to power." The dragon's mental voice carried something that might have been wistfulness. "You hope, even when you shouldn't. Even when mathematics says it's illogical. That child," Lyrics gestured toward the little girl with the toy, "will become the scientist who solves faster than light communication without fold space. Because of her, 1 billion beings will connect across the stars." The dragon's eyes found the elderly woman. "She will write the words that prevent the war between Proxima and New Shanghai colonies." Then, the young man in the suit. "He will teach the teacher who inspires the generation that achieves first contact with the void dwellers." Lyrics's gaze returned to Marin. "And you will write the paper explaining why I rode this tram. And humans across 100 worlds will read it and understand that power without compassion is merely tyranny. You will teach them that the strong exist to protect the weak, not to rule them." The tram's automated systems came back online. "Resuming route," the pleasant voice announced. "Apologies for the delay." Lyric settled back onto seat 14B, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. "2 more stops to the University District," the dragon said simply. Marin stared, her entire worldview reshaping itself. The draconids weren't indifferent to younger species. They were waiting, watching, to see what humanity would become. And this one hatchling had spent 3 weeks riding a tram. 17 credits per day, 43 minutes per trip, all to save a single tram full of unremarkable humans who would, in their own small ways, change the galaxy. The HFY stories humanity told about themselves, about human determination, resilience, and importance, had always seemed like species-based arrogance to Marin. But sitting here, watching a being of cosmic power contentedly riding public transportation to save them, she finally understood. Humanity wasn't special because they were powerful. They were special because they made others want to save them, inspire them, believe in them. The tram pulled into the University District station. Lyric stood, stretched wings that could fold space, and walked toward the door on feet no bigger than a cat's. "Same time tomorrow," the dragon said, tapping the transit card one final time. "Your species is worth the fare." And then, Lyrics was gone, leaving behind a tram car full of humans